Hello. Nice to have a bit of quiet time there. I think we may just have to edit. We apologise. We were meant to have done this to start with. We're lucky that we're here today. It's been one of those days. Does that work? That could work. It's not too bad, is it? So that could be one layout. There we go. And then let's do that as the other layout. We do kind of like that one. We can move to the right a little bit. If we move, we don't want to do that because we've got our backing up and that will ruin our backing. So there we go. Hopefully you can hear us okay. I don't think there's going to be too much of a chit chat coming into play. We've got the 3 candles. There was something our little ones were watching earlier saying about for the Lion's Gate portal and the 3 flames. So we've got three flames. And we also thought we'd get this card up because the person that said about the 3 flames, she had this one up, so we thought we'd get it out. And it's the Ishtar for the 888. Now it's actually the 88 portal. If one works with the addition and expansion, the conventional typical understanding where we just you see people adding up the numbers, but for us we add them up, we minus them, we divide and we multiply. Not all the time, it depends if our mental arithmetic is working or not. And for us this year is the 88 portal, and we see it as the practice ground. We'll put this one, we'll swap round for the moment and it'll be bigger. We see it as the practice ground because next year 2024 adds up to 8. This year adds up to 7, but if you do 2023, if you do 2 multiplied by 3, you get 6, and then you add the 2 and you get 8. So there is actually an 8-8 portal on the 8th. We also do it not just by on the day. So for instance, the 17th we consider as added together, it's an 8. The 18, if you multiply that and divide it, 1 times 8, 8 divided by 1, you get 8. And 19, if you do 9 subtract 1, you get 8. So there's the 17th, 18th and 19 are really, for us, it's the midpoint of the portal. The 8th is the opening of the portal of the 888, and then you have the 26th. You also got the 24th, 2 times 4 is 8, and you have the 26th, 2 plus 8. And then you have, oh no, you don't have it. That's for the 7-7 portal, because we've been doing these portals going back to like 1 for years. So yeah, the 29th is 9 minus 2, which equals 7. So you don't actually have it. But then for us also, because we're navigating a lot of trauma and understanding the world through our unique ways of understanding it, because the domesticated conditioned ways didn't work for us, but we have to then dislearn and deprogram our conditioned domesticated mind. And so, for instance, with trauma, and when the wiring in the body gets what one might say as confused, but it's not confused, it's just something the body does to survive life and to cope with life. But things get kind of miswired, maybe programmed a bit wrong, get a bit distorted. So so 3 could also be an 8, because 3 is half of 6 logically, but abstractly it's half of 8. And if we're wanting to understand this unseen, subtle, energetic realm, there is no logic. The quantum realms it's imagination, it's creation, it's open to interpretation, it's subjective. And so if you think about a printer and the printer's running out of ink, your letters and your wording, you can only see bits of it. So if you think that you've got an 8, 8, but the printer's running out of ink and it doesn't print all of the 8s, it just prints half the 8, then you might end up with 333. And actually 333 is an 888. It's just didn't come out that way because the printer's running out of ink and there's a misalignment in the printer. So that's the best way we can kind of describe it. And so we don't have to dance in these systematic, routine, structured ways. That comes from the left brain logical perspective first, and we want to open your eyes up to another way. So if you don't want your eyes opened up to another way, then we suggest you leave this video now if you haven't already, because we're still in the practicing grounds and our content isn't really, we don't go in for the mainstream, the algorithms, the get the views. Our content is about holistic health and well-being, and it's about being our own teacher and our own student, leading by example, so that you get to witness our process. And this is part of our process. You, the viewer, could be you, or it could be one of us from this host body. And so we're being the leader that we've never been able to find. We're being the teacher we've never been able to find, and providing the material for us to heal, to become whole, to rewire, to reprogram. And we have to also surrender our conscious mind's need to know and understand, and we surrender to the power of our subconscious, the past, all the data and information, our memory that's stored in the connective tissue, the matrix of the fascia, the matrix of the body, and the future, the superconscious, the imagination, the creation, the yet to be manifested and written. Please, for our speaker going off, manifested and written into the physical realms. And so we can do that for our own individual life, and what we project out there is a projection of our own internal reality. And what we actually see, we have to sort this out, don't we? We keep forgetting to figure out how to change the sleep timer on our computer so it doesn't keep going to the green matrix screen. Just attempting to figure out where we left off. distortions, matrix. It seems to have slipped. So yeah, we're opening your eyes of away from, rather than understanding the quantum realms, the unseen energetics, from this conditioned, tangible, logical way first, to release words, to release structure, and to dance in the abstract. But that can be a bit much and a bit too diverse for the logical brain. So it's about the logical of the abstract and the abstract of the logic, to narrow the gap so it's not so vast and not so overwhelming. So we talk about a lot about health and what we can do to develop health, to become balanced, to become whole, because we are experiencing, and have done since our seizures almost 7 years ago, the world, the collective agreement, reality, life, through the energetics first, and how that feels in the body. And what we have is, we're deaf, blind and dumb inside, but what we have is these images of like the torus and toroidal flow and the paternology and sacred geometry, and we're very sensory, and we feel the energy in the body. And what's going on is our body coming together, creating the paternology on these many depths, these many layers, in and out of different dimensions, to sew it together, to put it together, to gain our physical health, and mental health, and well-being, and turning our mess into our message. And today's been a bit of a struggle. We It's a challenge. It's like, come on, let's get on there. There's willful resistance, as one of the Liffruma cards says. So yeah, everything that we can see in the world is a collection of everyone's individual projections. And so if we want to live in a peaceful, harmonious global nation, galaxy, but let's just start with the globe, Earth, Mother Earth, then we have to create that peaceful, harmonic, internal subjective reality in ourselves first, and be like selves responsible, selves accountable, taking selves management, to be the cliche, to be what we want to see in the world. And so a lot of what we do has all of this in there, but we're also attempting to reprogram us. So we're very aware how hard it is to look after the environment, to buy environmentally friendly things when they're more expensive, or to do things that's better for the environment when one's physical health and one's mental health isn't there, and we can't even nurture ourselves. And so there's all of this going to be brought into it as well. And so what we're doing with our current card readings is, so you have this paternology. It's bridging the gap between the logical and the abstract, the seen and the unseen, the academic and the creative. And words, especially because of our processing language disorder, words can be limiting, they can be confusing, they can create a lot of misunderstanding, which can then last years of people not talking to each other because of this misunderstanding. And it's just like such a shame. But then these people that like the words and communicate with words don't really like the numbers. So and because we've got so many of us in this one body, we're like, okay, well, we have to find the language that works for all of us, because some of us have completely opposing belief systems, different ends of the spectrum, and it caused chaos for the body. And so we're just wondering where we should put us back on, because we're talking more and not holding the screen up, and we can swap it around again in a minute. Oh no, that's not what we were trying to do. That it's down here. I'm still learning. Oh, but then we don't really know. We don't know. So yeah, a lot of people say that they want to be the best version of them. They want to heal. They want to do all this stuff. But when it actually comes down to it, it's not that easy to do, and it can be quite challenging. And so that was it, the words and the numbers. So what we're attempting to do, it's the patternology. It's the pattern in the words, the fundamentals of the words, and it's the pattern and the fundamentals of the language of the words and of the numbers. They're different languages. And so we all have all 12 astro signs in our chart. And then Ophiuchus, for us, we're just doing our little ones, and we're just doing our own thing with Ophiuchus. And that's the serpent bearer. So that deal for us, that's the carrier of the snake. That's the carrier of the snake, the carer of the snake, the manager of the snake. Also, therefore, the Kundalini energies and the Kundalini rising. And for us, the Kundalini energies, it's just the energetics in the body that get activated or released through either different years in one's life or experiences that may happen. And then these portals, these gateways to new energetics get opened up in the body, which is different color, which, putting it simply, is different colored threads of the rainbow. It's different wavelengths. So we've done all the 13 star signs, including Ophiuchus. But for us, Ophiuchus is like the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve wanders through every organ in the body. So for us, if you've got a different set of organs that go to a different chakra, energetic vortex, sphere, or chakra literally translated means wheel, then if it goes through all the chakras, it's got all the rainbow colors in it. So therefore, each kind of astro sign as well is kind of related to certain parts of the body. Or if you look at it depends what book you read. The body parts can be related to the planet, and then that kind of goes to the astrological sign. So it just depends which ways it's navigated. But that's then sticking to one system or one routine, whereas all these systems and routines and methodologies to embrace the transformative journey of getting to know thyself, it was all originally created by one person, two people, a different person, depending what it was, or one person came out with a new thing based on that, but that didn't quite work for them. So what we're attempting to, so what we're programming, our deepest intention is that the most important thing coming from us to you is through our heart electromagnetic fields. And that's that through our heart electromagnetic field, the deepest of unconditional love and compassion, that your heart electromagnetic field receives our electromagnetic energy through this gateway portal of the World Wide Web. And then you will have the experiences that you need and want, that gives you the most joyful, smoothest, fun ride to, I suppose, if you want to put big words into it, self-realization. But that's only if you want to do it, and you have those experiences and all those energies are there ready for you to unlock them and open it up, whether that's subconsciously for your superconscious or consciously, if you want to take that journey. And then but we're putting words to it because we function in the world of words. So we're attempting to learn our words, develop our words, and put words to it is to what we're doing, but we're not even really that clear of what we're doing either. Zendaya, I thought it was next door's kitten. And so we're on the elemental forces now, and so today we're doing the elemental forces of fire. So when it came up with 3 flames on the Lionsgate portal that we were watching earlier from someone that we've connected to a bit in online group, said about 3 flames, so that's why we've got 3 flames here. There's been a lot of solar plexus activation, fire, everything going on in our own readings lately, so that's all relative as well. So we're on Joy to Coco, Journey of Involution to Co-Consciousness, and we're starting with the Fire Elemental course. Fire Elemental Energetics could be a course. And we had last week off, but the week before we ended on Zanoni Snowflake, and that was the starting of this new pattern where we've embraced each of the astrological signs as a whole from one of these lives. We've then broken it down into the individual parts, and then we've put the individual parts back together as a whole within the whole by doing the cardinal axes, the mutable axes, the fixed axes. And now we're experiencing the energetics through the elemental forces. And so it was water, a fortnight ago through Zanoni Snowflake, and each channel that we have is a different type of energetic gateway. And so to experience fire through Joy to Coco or Zanoni Snowflake or ShintoSEYE or Shintos will all be different because they're on different depths, different dimensions, different parts of energetics that we're seeing from. So it's like, if you were to go into Shintos, that would be like experiencing the fire energetics through the lens of the logical academic mind of this tangible, seen academic world. If you're doing it now from Joy to Coco, that's the objective. If you're doing it now from Joy to Coco, it's through the lens of the imaginative, the creative, the subjective. And so we also call the collective, so each of our individual projections, so the globe that we live on is an alchemization, the energetic is an alchemization of the energetics between everyone's individual projections, but also the electromagnetic fields of animals and natures. It's all alchemizing in together to create this projected, what people say is an illusion, but it's not an illusion because it's seen and it's tangible, and it's more real than the unseen to the majority of people. So it's not an illusion in the way that it's kind of understood if you're coming at it from the domesticated, conditioned societal view. And this is where it can really trigger mental health and be too much for the brain to handle sometimes, because of the belief systems that have been programmed into us for generations and our own just individual life. And so I suppose we're wanting to find a way to lessen that distortion, to lessen that dissonance. Not just a wanting to find a way, we're in it, we've been experiencing it, so we've had to find a way. Yeah, there's something else we were going to say then, and it keeps kind of getting lost because we're dancing in these void realms. We've got our grounding mat down below, we've got our knee supports and our ankle supports on so we don't hyperextend. There's information down in the description box down below if you want to kind of know more of what's kind of going on. So yeah, we're on the fire elemental force, but just to kind of really start, so we've got this is 44. I'm going to put this one back on again, because what came up a lot in the last one of the readings, I know it was water and Zanoni Snowflake a fortnight ago, was there was like 8 10s, and 10 is karmic completion. Karmic completion being a completion in the unseen energetics, which is the ending but also the beginning. So we see 9 as a completion in the physical, tangible energetics, but the 10 is the ending that creates the beginning. It's made of the 1 and the 0. And 9 is also on the Tesla code, which is the circular patterns. So lines in masculine is linear, the circles and the curves is feminine, and this is how we understand things. And 44 is the number of environment, which connects us into Bruce Lipton and epigenetics, which was been hugely important for our changing of our biology and our gut biome, our bacteria, but all of it, your nose biome, your skin biome. So this is going to be the card that's up mostly, but then our little uns were like, we want this card too, and we want this card too. And so you right, Zendaya? And so more cards came out. So they've put them in a bit of an order, and we're going to just explain why. So this is it's 17, which is also a number 8, and it's 528 hertz, which is the miracle tone, and the tone of the heart, the mandala of the heart. And Lionsgate is the Leo, it's the Sirius star, and the Sirius star is the dog star, and it's to do with the Egyptian New Year, July the 26th, which is also the same New Year as the Mayans' New Year. And 44 also equals 8. Our master guide, our birth given name vibration was number 8. So that's why this card was chosen, because of the hearts and the frequencies, and all of even though they're on top of each other, all of these are the like energies and the portals and the gates that we're consciously bringing our awareness to and inviting you to join, to open up. So we've got Bastet, That's one of our spirit guides on. We've got a spiritual painting that someone did for us of our higher self, and it has Bastet on one shoulder and it has Ganesha on the other shoulder. So that, and we've always been cats have always been very influential in our life. And 174 hertz is the frequency to heal physical pain in the body and wounds. And we've got all these tuning forks that we use a lot as well. The owl. So if you look at the 852, that's the same as the 528 hertz, but a bit different. It's 852 rather than 528. This is actually the sound tuning fork sound healing we've got up in Joy to Coco. We've recorded the other two, we've just not managed to edit them and get them up yet. Have those forks in, because it's the Salvagio tuning fork set. And this one was chosen because Owl Senses was the card that came up today. And we're just gonna play that video now, because they've brought the videos in. We brought the videos in and now they're not showing up, so that's a bit random because they were there. Let's see if this works now. So they're just uploading. So we'll play that one in a minute. We've got 3 shorts which we're going to play just at the start because it's relative to a card at the end as well. So this now is going into alpha, and the screen's gone a bit funny. We've got the Wi-Fi and the mobile data on. So I don't know if it's gone a bit funny because we've just started uploading those videos, but I don't see why that would affect the quality of the phone. Which is a shame, but we can hold it up to this camera. Unless, yeah, see, that's better now. For some reason that affects the thing. So here we've got number 24, Alpha of Alcyone. So we've got all the brain wavelengths in now. So we're functioning generally when everyone's just in their waking day life, going around doing what they're doing, they're functioning in the beta brain wavelength. And then alpha is when one goes into a relaxed state, and then you've got a theta, and then you have delta, which you're getting into. Theta is like real deep healing and dream time, and delta is a real deep sleep. And so those wavelengths are when prophetic dreams happen and all kinds of stuff. And to be able to get yourself into those states when you're awake and alert and conscious with them is one has to train oneself to do it. You can look at the is it the De Silva? I think, well, we've got the book and we're reading it. I think it's called De Silva Mind Control Method. And so for us, we've done self-hypnosis before in the past with a hypnotherapist. And with that, you'd put 2 fingers together to get into a relaxed state, and then you put another 3 fingers together to get into basement hypnosis. In yoga, with your yoga mudras, these are very yoga mudras that you do in the yoga. You do different yoga mudras, and they create different stuff around the body. In reflexology, this is your thinking, this is your feeling, working, relating, sense of security. So when you're connecting these hands, you're connecting your thinking and your feeling. You're connecting your head and your heart. When you connect this one, you're connecting your head, your heart, your thinking, your feeling, your working, your head, your heart, and you're working. So they're all connected together. So that's how we work. We're bringing all these different bits of information that we've learned and put them together. And so we brought these in because today, well, not just today, we've been doing it for a while, but we did a really long thing today earlier. So we invite you to sit here to program, so that you put your whichever hand's comfortable, but your left hand and your forefinger and your thumb together, and go, whenever I do this, I bring myself into a state of an alpha brain wavelength. And you can improve speed learning, improve your memory, because you can then do this and train yourself whenever you're doing something. And then if you go back, oh, I want to remember that, I can't remember it, you put your hands together and you bring yourself back to that. Now, the way that the Silver method mentions it is you project it onto screen, and you almost, it's like watching a movie and you can see it back again. But for us, we don't have any of that because we're just dark inside. And so things happen differently with us, and we're having to figure out our own way. And so today, when we do that, we're alpha. When we do this, we're programming ourselves so that whenever we do that, we're putting ourselves into theta. When we do this, we're programming ourselves so that we put ourselves into delta. And then when we do this, we're programming ourselves that we put ourselves into gamma. So this is all our subconscious reprogramming but that's in the scientific academic word language. For us, reflexology in our body, we put it into, we're connecting when we're doing that, we're connecting our thinking, our feeling, our head and our heart, and our working, our doing, our active, all together and balancing it. And you can see, we're developing, you can see where our body's got no space and it's cramped. You can also see from the alignment of people's teeth if they're overcrowded, where it's not enough space and it's all cramped, or they've got gaps in their teeth and there's too much space and there's a leakage or a hole in the electromagnetic field of the energetics. And so, yeah, this is now why we have these next ones of alpha. Oh, we gonna have to do this the whole time. We have to sort that out, remember. So just before we go through the rest of the cards, we're actually just going to do one of these, the owl one that we were saying.
Did you know that owls are one of the only birds that can...
We'll just take us off and put it on its own, so it's not so much information.
Did you know that owls are one of the only birds that can see the color blue? This gives them an advantage when hunting at dawn and dusk, as the blue light is still visible when other colors have faded. Additionally, the shape of an owl's face acts like a satellite dish, capturing sound and directing it to their ears. This allows them to locate prey in complete darkness with incredible accuracy. So next time you see an owl, remember how amazing their senses are.
Hello. So, and these are doing these shorts, but what we have on our shorts and Shintos is like focus exercises. So we're doing all these different things, but they're different things to get focused, to change the pattern. So if we're just scrolling through YouTube's or shorts or whatever, it'd be like, okay, we're scrolling, we're on YouTube, but let's watch something constructive, and that's easy, and do focus exercises. And so we've created lots of different things to be able to get ourselves to this point and become co-conscious. But we believe that everyone we just present to the extreme end of the spectrum, but we believe that everyone has, everyone dissociates a bit when they're doing automatic driving and going on automatic pilot and other things. So we believe that, we just present and express a bit uniquely and a bit differently, but everyone has aspects of this, and so what we're creating can benefit all. And so that was today's short. Actually, if you're watching here live, then you get that as that doesn't come out until 8 o'clock, mind you, it might, or 8:30, it's a quarter of an hour. So then we've got theta. Then we've got theta of Venus, and Venus is retrograde at the moment, and on Sunday she disappears from the night sky, and then on the 21st of August she reappears in the sky as the morning star rather than the evening star. And Venus is retrograde in Leo, connected to the Lionsgate portal. So we also wanted to say for you, where's your Venus in your chart? Where's your Leo in your chart? And to look at those places in your chart. But also Leo is connected to house 5. So what's going on in house 5 in your chart? Venus is the ruler of Taurus and Libra. What's going on, and where is house 2 and house 7 in your chart? So for us, our Taurus is in house 9, our Libra is in house 3, house 5 is Capricorn. So we're going to be having interactions going on between our Taurus energies, our Libra energies, our Capricorn energies. Our Venus is house 8, so our in Aries, so our Aries energies. But then if you want to go into more depths and more patternology and dancing, you could then go, well, because my Venus is in house 8, which is Aries, that's also bringing in Scorpio energetics, because Scorpio energetics is house 3, and it just is house 8, and it just so happens to us that our Scorpio is house 3. Now our Libra is house 3. Our Scorpio's house 4 and Sagittarius has house 4. That's right. No, Libra's house 3 and Scorpio's house 3 and 4, because they overlap. So Libra's house 3 and a bit of house 2. Scorpio's house 3 and house 4, and Sagittarius is house 4. So we have Neptune in Sagittarius house 4, Sagittarius and Scorpio house 3, so they overlap, so we get a bit confused. So that's really amazing that we've managed to come out with that there. So this is how you can dance around your chart, not have to know a system, not have to learn a system, and just go intuitively from your heart, from the numbers, from the words, what works for you. Find out your own unique, authentic way that you understand, and you don't have to. It's not about getting things right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. There just is what there is. And there's what's harmonically aligned to you. We want maximum output, most ease. So, you know, if it's complicated and hard to learn someone else's ways, and we're just watching lots of people, why not find our own way and minimize watching other people, and then we can become our own leader, our own teacher, our own guru, our own oracle, because we have all the answers inside of us. And so that's what we're learning to do. Not all of us are quite there yet, but they're starting to listen, because we're starting to do things that some of us that we've done in the past, but it's been a nightmare to try and get us to kind of into this routine and get us to start it again or continue to do it again. But they've been watching our videos and they've been listening to them, and we've actually starting to go out and do stuff that we're saying in the videos. And so we're actually finally been able to access ones of us that we haven't been able to access through what we're doing. And it's like, it's not that weird. It's like an Olympic athlete. If an athlete wants to be really good at their game, they'll video themselves. They'll have a coach, but, you know, we're being our own coach as well. We're teaching you how to be your own coach, your own teacher, mentor. And they'll watch themselves, they'll be videoed, and then they'll watch themselves and they'll see where their form isn't quite right and what they can do with their body, their posture, their form, to become a better at their specific focused game, athlete, sport. And that's what we're doing. So we're watching the words, we're watching the body language, and there's different ones of us, and we like that initial critical self, and then be compassionate and go, look, not many people even do this. They can't stand to watch themselves, and to watch themselves and be a better person, and then learn to be compassionate with ourselves and go, oh yeah, of course we're going to be like that, because the ones of us are locked inside that we're attempting to get out, but we have to minimize the spectrum, so they're on a spectrum of resonance. 2020. Is there any way we can go into settings now and change this? I know it's not best to do it on here. Is it the control panel? Display. Is that it? Brightness, night light, display. It's like sleep mode, isn't it? Or something. Okay, so is there an option to search? If we go down here and go into search, sleep mode timer. You do that, and then to set sleep mode timer. Maybe it's not that. Sleep mode. Is it sleep? This is just bringing up stuff on the internet now. We just want to see if we can go on to okay, no, we'll do it another time. So yeah, so that was a bit about the theta and the game. Theta, Dia of Delta. There's lots of different things come up with stuff like this today, but we've already gone on for about an hour talking. We're not quite an hour. And then Gamma. Gamma's the we see Gamma as the superconscious and the faster wavelengths, and then the other ones are like the subconscious, and then Beta's like the conscious. We might have that mistaken, but we noticed we got out the polarity therapy book the other day as well to check what we've been checking, and realized there's like so many pages overturned. We've done so much reading behind all these books and just don't remember it. But we've done the reading of the books to set in what we need to do, so that then when we go and get lost between all the different personalities, we'll come full circle back to it all again or something. I don't know, it's a bit hard. And so then it's about the Kundalini rising. So we've got each of the elemental forces. You've got, so with fire, we've got Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but we've also got Ophiuchus. So Ophiuchus goes into each of the elemental forces, but that's within the fire. But then we're going to do Ophiuchus fire, Ophiuchus water, Ophiuchus air, Ophiuchus earth, because there's the Ophiuchus within the fire, like the other astro signs, but then there's the Ophiuchus fire, just which is the, so it's from, I suppose, seeing it from inside the house looking out the window, or being outside the house and looking in the window. They're two different perspectives. And so we've got 7 blessings of ease, which is like the snake, the Kundalini rising. And then we're ending on Beta, the conscious waking state, which we're attempting more and more to get into. And the wolf is kind of part of the dog family, and the Lionsgate portal is to do with the Sirius star, which is the dog star. So you may also want to do dog head down. And then this is also number 44, which is, we were turning these over because although they don't have to all be showing, 44, and this is 44, and this is Cosmic Doubt, and this came out today as the first card, you would have noticed, and then the second card. So we're now going to do, and the second card that came out was number 12. So we're going to do another short of the burning away of the doubt, which is this card, which we're just going to slip inside there. These are all going to go here. So that's our Lionsgate portal cards. We might actually put them down there flat, because then we can have the elemental card up there. Okay, so here's the change. We actually had a comment on this one, which was a challenging comment to reply to. And then when we did reply, not too challenging, but we had to put time and effort into it. And then when we did, they were like, no, we're insulting your video, not us. And it's like, oh, okay. And that's kind of you. And then offered, I hope you don't reap what you sow, but we send you, like, I don't know, love or whatever anyway. So we're really impressed with the way we dealt with that, because half the thing on here is how we're going to manage comments, because we have to look after our little ones and make sure that we don't put ourselves in situations that could be too triggersome or explosive, and take it slowly. But at the same time, it teaches us to be more responsive as well. So let's put this on, take these away. Candel and Condel, Hod and Balder, the macro, the micro, 2 locks on 1 door, 2 flames not the same but lit from 1 match. Our tears show and ulcers grow. Trust the Aether light you fear's not sincere. We hide inside the burning doubt, and ought to shout, but don't. Treasures of others inspires covetous desires. Those avaricious bounties are pain's reins pulling at our bridled lives. Stop chomping at the wrong bit. The cosmic well has gifts etched only in your name, if you will just unlock. We weren't going to put the next one on just yet, but we do need to go to the bathroom, so we're just going to put the other one on as well and go to the bathroom. Okay, we're back. Hello. So we're getting into the swing of things again. It's the feelings at the start before coming on, the apprehension and the nerves, and can be full on sometimes. But we didn't do too much today. Well, yeah. So that's there. We won't continue babbling. So we've got. Oh, let's do this one as well. So we've got a fire elemental card. Burned away the doubt. And here are the cards. So we're using the Black Moon astrology this time. And we've actually got the house and the planet. So we'll turn them over. Well, we'll turn them over at the end once we're done to close the energies off. So there's Sagittarius. Most of the space is actually up this way, isn't it? We might just have to rearrange everything a little bit. And then we've got Leo, I will, the 5th house, creativity in the sun, but we'll do that again in a minute. And Aries, I am, 1st house, the body, Mars, force. So there are 3 astros. And then for Ophiuchus, there's 2. There's first, we got these out of the Dream Weavers. Oh, this is the back of the box. But you are more than you know, meant for a magical, meaningful life. We love the little stories that have in the boxes. So we've got number 32, when it's time to say goodbye. Saying goodbye to the old energies from the snake, the Kundalini energies get through our whole body. And 35, all the threads of fate must bend, because we talk about weaving the threads together. So there are Ophiuchus cards. Should we put fire over here? Yeah, okay. See, ideally, this would be stuff that we'd do beforehand. But we're doing the best we can as we can with what we've got. So we're here, we're doing it, we're putting the work in, we're showing up, and the rest will all just flow as and when eventually. So Ophiuchus is here, just a little bit hidden. That's okay, because we can unhide it in a minute. And so we'll be doing the Liffruma card. We've pre-shuffled these decks, and then we're going to be looking into the macro, the micro, and the in-between, the liminal, the connector, what's going on. And then as a bonus, we may do the Kim Krans Oracle as well. So we're just going to shuffle. So put some music on as we do the layout for the cards. I forgot we were doing that. Hi Karen, that's us. we had changed that, and we even prepped it and practiced it, so we had the new us up, not with that music. So we don't know what's gone on because we deleted that one off. See, even when one tries and does their best and changes it, it then doesn't work in the moment. So we were going to do the top and bottom as well, but this time the top's going to be the opening valve. So just like when you turn the tap on and open up the flow of water, but we're in fire, so you're turning it on, you're opening up, turning on, opening up, so you're creating a hollow space, so there's more airflow going in, which means the fire is going to go whew. And then when you close the valve down, you're minimizing the airflow that's going in, so it settles down the fire elements. So that's going to be the opening. So that's Ophiuchus there. So maybe we'll put these ones here. So that's to turn the fire up, and then to turn the fire down, minimize the airflow going in. And we'll start with one of them. So yeah, we're not going to have the music on loop. Or we could have another music on. They've got a whole kind of feeding the ducks. Into space. Noticed that last time. Lo-fi. Night driving. We're going to do acoustic cinematic. Okay. Oh, that was lucky. Almost knocked our water over. Here goes. So Sagittarius. No, you did one more day now. Okay. Well remembered. Thank you. So all the cards are ready. We're just gonna center ourselves. Just do a bit of buzzing to connect into the depths of source energy held within. Feel free to buzz and hum and subtly shake and do the same. Maybe just take a few long, slow, deep inhalations and exhalations first. Bruh. Okay. Thank you, elemental force of fire, for welcoming us in to experience and perceive through your lenses of perception. We are now going to open up the valve to let the air in, to fuel the fire and the passion. The fire and the passion, the solar plexus, the fire energies. And the passion led by the heart, the air elemental. The heart chakra, number 4, the fourth chakra, is air. And air fuels the fire. Yellow, the solar plexus. So what is the Liffruma card yet? Tito Momo! I love you, my lovelies. I love my little ones when they get excited. Yeah, they haven't had this card yet, so they're very happy. So we are fueling the fires and the passion with the air, the heart chakra, and the Liffruma card is the love. It's the love that resides in everything. Unconditional love, compassion. And we don't know, we haven't got a thing for 85 is follow your dreams, which is the opposite of 58. So we're just going to read the poem. Liffruma 58, 8 and 5. 58 is actually on the Fibonacci sequence. You have 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So together they add up to 13, which added up again then is 4. 13 is a very magical number. 13 for us is the feminine stability. So for us, 12 is masculine stability, masculine just being the baker's dozen, the tangible, what we can see and touch and hear with our 5 physical senses. 13 is the feminine energies of what we can see, hear, touch. It's the wholeness, the curves. And then for us, 64 is the masculine, divine just being the unseen energetics, the quantum realms. Liffruma, and it's Alvin light, and benefic. We always put a bit of a French thing on there, don't we? So here's the poem so that you can see it and we can see it. The Alvin ring is the singing of love. This sound resounds from high above everything and hums below a long, slow ground bass flow. Core of frequency, vibrations holding form, animating all atoms throughout time and beyond. Bask in the bliss, but know this, you are a voice. You are a voice in that Alvin light. You are here. You are here, alive and there, holding tones for all and everything. We are all one in Liffruma. So the magical Liffruma card, and that's what we do. We connect. Source energy for us is vibration, and the vibration happens first in the darkness. One says that you need light to grow, but what's more important than sunlight is water, and you actually don't need light to grow. There's animals in deep in this ocean and the sea where there is no light. So one can have life where there is water and no light. So the most important thing for growth is water, not light, not sunlight. Although different species start developing with the light, and if we're going to be literal in our garden, then yes, you need light. But the initial starting off of the roots growing and mushrooms and fungi, they don't need light. So to say that we need light to grow, again, isn't an impeccability of language. It's limiting. And this is what we want, to become impeccable with our language. And we watch us back and it's like, whoa, but we're getting there. The more we watch ourselves back, the more we will become impeccable. So what do we say about opening the valve and letting in the air to fuel the fire? The opening of this reading, the opening of the fire energies. Fire is passion, creativity, breath, breathing. We commute because our words get confused and back to front and upside down, and we'll say can't instead of can, or can instead of can't. It got confusing. So we communicate with spirit through humming and buzzing and frequency, and sometimes that humming and buzzing and frequency needs to purge and be primal, not pleasant sounds to rid the trauma, to clear the trauma, to discombobulate the trauma frequencies so that they dissipate, so our channels and our tubes can become clear and free flowing. To let the air in, just like the fire. And the more we're able to do that, our senses of perception aren't distorted. We are the illusions, the false narrative, the inner critique the inner trolls, they're not so loud, the noises aren't there. And if you are someone that's had trauma from early years, the body doesn't like to get still, and meditation can actually be quite harmful. But we can do open-eyed meditations if we're going to do a still meditations, like at a candle flame, to keep ourselves in the external reality, or we can do passive active meditations like walking backwards or gentle walking forwards, or some kind of subtle movement, restorative yoga, or more active meditation. So it's quite a spectrum. You can do really active meditations where you're connecting into things where you're actually cycling or running, that if you're really not able to get still. But if you don't have the physical health or the body, then that's not an option. But the options there, and you've got drawing, writing, humming, singing, sounding, mantras, visual meditations that you can watch online. You can look out your window at the rain on the leaves, or the sun or the wind blowing the leaves. And fire, we're talking about fire, the candles, or an actual fire, or you can put a fire up on the screen that you're watching. I swear this is starting to happen quicker. But then, okay, we swear it's starting to happen more often and quicker. There's a distortion in the sense of perception of time. Or no, is there a distortion in time? Maybe not a distortion in time, but one's concept, one's experience of time changes depending on what activities we're doing, what habitual behaviors are. A day can go really quickly, or it can take ages to go. Depending, one says that time flies when one's having fun, and then it doesn't when one's not having fun. But actually, for us, time's a very abstract context. What's yesterday to one of us could actually be a couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years longer ago. So time is an interesting concept, and fire and a candle burning down actually can show time. As a candle burns down and gets smaller, more time has passed. And so we don't necessarily need to create a story or a narrative. We're not the best at that with our words, but we don't want to spoon feed people. We don't want people to get caught in that victim consciousness. When we always create these narratives and make someone feel special, it's good to make someone feel, well, how do we do this so the information doesn't get received? Well, no, we're going to release. Thank you, Steph. We're going to release how it gets received and just do our best. But when we're in victim consciousness, we want to be center of attention. We want to be made to feel special. We didn't get made to feel special, but at the same time, then we can get spoon-fed. We're relying on other people. We want to teach people how to stand on their own 2 feet. We want to teach people not what to think, but teach them and show them how to maybe start thinking for themselves to become their authentic fat self. What we need in the world is more and more people waking up to the depths and the beauty of their deepest, authentic, truest self. Even if that means we present as something that's different to society, that makes it more challenging to fit in, because the judgments and assumptions. And that's why we need to be really strong and comfortable in our own skin, so that when we surround ourselves with other people that are going to have these assumptions, these judgments, what have you, which is accidental and sometimes subconscious, it's conditioned and programmed. But if you're hypersensitive and an empath, super hypersensitive, you can feel what they're feeling. And so therefore, if we're feeling insecure or not comfortable in our own skin, then that just gets amplified when we're around others that have these subconscious accidental judgments and assumptions. And when we know that when someone is judging or making an assumption, whether it's accidental or not, and they don't even need to say it with the words, it can just be what they're feeling inside, because that's how empaths works. We sense the energies in the body. We have to understand that that is just their individual reality, and if people are projecting judgments and assumptions and critique and everything outwards, hurt people. It's the same thing. That means that's what they're doing them to themselves, and that's their narrative and their story. And we need to be strong enough in ourselves. You need to be strong enough in yourself to know that you can go out there and you don't need to absorb their energies, because you've got all your tools. You can put a nice high vibrational frequency bubble around you that discombobulates any unserving frequencies or vibrations that's going to come into you. And you're confident in your uniqueness, your difference, your authenticity. And yeah, be at calm with that, be peace with that, be silent with that. So that's a beautiful card to open with, and very exciting and unexpected. And so we've got the macro. So we were just talking about the macro would be the surface of the body, the superficial muscles. And if we don't go deep within knowing ourselves and who we are, we can get stuck on the superficial muscles, the outside of the body. And that's when people can be superficial. They can be a bit fake. They can come across a bit whatever, because they don't really know who they are, because they haven't done the explorative self-awareness journey to discover who they are. Just doing this screensaver again. Screensaver. So maybe it's not sleep mode, maybe it's a screensaver. We type in screensaver, change screensaver, there we go. So if we open that, there we go. Oh no, there is no screensaver. Well, what's that keeps popping up? It says screensaver, none. Oh, what? So we're doing this on the opening. Change when the PC sleeps when plugged in. Yes, that might be it. So this is like the macro. It's like the surface. It's the tangible seen reality. It's the objective reality. On battery power, turn off my screen after 3 minutes. When plugged in, turn off after 5 minutes. Well, when plugged in, let's put it on to an hour, and then we'll only have to. Okay. There we go. Let's see if that works. So we've just done that on the opening valve, letting the air in with the fire. Feels like we've succeeded. So let's see if we have succeeded. So what does that, what message does that hold? What symbolic meaning does that hold? We're opening the valve, we're letting in the air, we're fueling the fire. There's enough fuel to burn, so it's not going to go out with the air, because if you let in too much air and there's not enough fuel, then it will just go out. But there's enough fuel, we're letting in the air, so it's really burning. It's really burning. And we just managed to succeed in, well, hopefully time will tell. There's the time will tell, because we won't have to put our hand up again to type in our password and stop the green matrix coming up. So we'll see if we've succeeded. But if we have, then we've managed while live to figure out something new and keep our cool and keep our calm with something that could potentially be a little bit stressful, and have a smile with it. So the message in that for you is you're absorbing these energies, so you can do that too, but maybe you don't feel you can do that, but that those energetics are there to harness because other people's energy. It's monkey see, monkey do. It's beginner neurons and mirror neurons, we call them. And so we're constantly, there's so much information going into our subconscious and our superconscious all the time that our conscious mind can't handle. Because if it was going to take all that information in, it would just be too much. So you can trust and have faith that you the power of your subconscious and the power of your superconscious has got your back, and it's in collaboration with consciousness, with the unseen forces, God, Buddha, Allah, awareness, love, Liffruma, to be able to process that information, and then you can handle stuff in the moment. Going back to, if you are someone that hasn't been out for a while, you don't go out because you absorb other people's energies because you're too sensitive, you're able to start doing that again. But this is the energetic potential, so it can take a little bit of time to receive that energetic potential and then build it up, and we have to do that through action. And fire is action. Fire is a masculine energy, like air. Water goes down and fire goes up on the upward channels. Fire is the masculine, water is the feminine. Air goes up. You've got the triangle pointing up. If we do it down here, and then when the triangle points down, air's got a line through it and earth's got a line through it as well. So these energetics are there for you if you choose to embrace the potential. And so this is the external, the macro, because you have been putting in the work energetically to spread your rainbow roots far and wide and deep, much bigger than what you can see of the tree on the surface. So the tree's not going to get knocked down in high winds and strong forces. The tree might get burnt down in strong winds in the direction if there's a bushfire that's going on, but just for purification and transition. And because your roots are so strong and so wide and deep, then you'll be able to sprout and grow anew again. And that's just embracing the natural cycles of death and life in life. That's the consequences of living on earth, in earth. For us, these background lines as well, with the patternology we talk about, it's the horizontal. So to gain height, one needs to be able to have the width. If the width and the breadth isn't there, so in yoga, one needs to widen the muscles to gain height. So just trying to think of another analogy with a rubber band or a slingshot, but it's not coming to us. So yeah, there we go. So that's the unconditional love is spreading far and wide, beneath the surface, within the unseen, within the underworld, out there. This is then what other people get infected by, and they might not be comfortable with it. People aren't comfortable with being around other people that are open and deep because they don't know themselves. If they don't know themselves, they don't want to be around people that open them up more because they don't know where that's going to take them. But that's not for us to take personally. When we're taking it personally, we're in the immature emotional states. Hence why we don't want to spoon feed you. We want to teach you how to think, not what to think, and what questions to ask yourself, because you only know what baseline you're starting at, and that could be completely different. So not the same things are going to apply. So we're going to go from the macro down into the micro, and then we'll go into the in-between. So isn't that interesting that we were just talking about the bushfires, and you might get knocked down from bushfires that were fueled by the winds in the air, but you haven't got knocked down, but you have had the fire from the sky, the electricity from the sky, the lightning come and break the top two parts off of the tree. But that's okay, because you still got your bottom half, and you can still then produce new growth for your top half. And so the top half maybe is relating to the brain, the neurological pathways, the habitual patterns in our brain mind of the critique that's not talking, of those narratives that say the same things. It's like, let's not work in a narrative and words anymore. Let's work in telling a story through our body. What does our body want to say to us? What does our body do when it feels this music go through it? What does our body do when it feels this emotion go through it? Oh yeah, no, that's not nice, that's not pleasant, like what's going on for us today. Apprehension, anxious, not wanting to do this live, just wanting to stay comfortable, when really a lot of it is probably just willful resistance, because at the end of the day, a habitual familiar pattern doesn't want to change. Change causes discomfort, upheaval. It makes the clear water go a bit muddy and confusion and stir up the silt, but then it can just settle again, and we can change and just do a little bit at a time. Even if we don't really know what we're doing, we can just do this and play work until we do know what we're doing, because that's a big thing that's going around for us at the moment, is that we don't seem to, we do kind of know what our dream and our passion is and what we want, but we don't know how to get there. But then apparently we're not meant to know how to get there. And so we're putting the time and the effort in to work, even if it's play work or not, even if no one else comes to watch it or not, which is challenging, because when you're producing something and no one's coming to watch it and they're not interacting with it, it's like, well, what's the point? And the point is because we're getting something out of it. And people make out that, oh, we're doing this for you. No one does anything solely for the other. They're always doing it for themselves as well. And we want to be honest with that. We're doing this for us and the other, but we are more important because we're the one that's got to produce it. And if we're going to get tired or drained or ill, it's not going to work. And so we live in a consumerist world as well, where people are selling and lying and all kinds of things. So we really need to get to know ourselves, look after ourselves, and learn to trust ourselves and trust our body, because that's always going to tell us, maybe not the truth, because the truth doesn't really work. That's always going to tell us about ourselves in that moment of whether we're in an environment or a situation that's beneficial to us or not. And we have to just learn and grow from that. So this will be chopping off the old neurons, the unserving narratives and speech that we tell ourselves, and the critique. And for us, it's not, we hear people talking about the voices in the head. It's not about, for us, it's not the voices, it's the personalities. It's manifested into physical form. It's not just thought form. It actually manifested into the physical wiring of the body and split the body off into these personalities. But everyone's got that to some extent, even if it is just the thoughts. And so we can't always control our thoughts, but start being friendly with your thoughts. Speak to them as a friend. Go, well, why do we think that? And just be compassionate with yourself. Talk to yourself as you would a baby, or just your best friend. Speak to yourself so compassionately and lovingly, like it was a baby or an animal, your best friend. Because we can't always control our thoughts and what's going on. So yeah, turned it over before saying what it was. So these are the in-betweens. So you've got your micro, your subjective, your macro, the objective, that's connecting you into the external reality. Both trees with trunks. There's a transition going on in the higher vibrational, faster vibrational frequencies of your body. So your indigos and your violets, which you're not going to get upheaved because you've got a strong root system going out on your peripheral, the outside. And this is what's connecting and bridging the two. So this is your subjective, your internal, it's like your organs, creating the health of the organs, burning off the fire of old fat cells around your liver and your kidneys. And so this is the in-between that connects the outside and the inside, the subjective, the objective, the macro and the micro. Oh my word! These are amazing, absolutely incredible, amazing opening energies for the fire elemental. We've got judgment, which we were just talking about, other people's judgment, perceived judgments. It's number 20, number 2. Or if you might, plus or minus 2, or 0, the feminine, the whole. But look, you've flown out of the crowds, you've flown out of all the crowds and the darkness. You're really up high, you're soaring, you're shining, because you know how to use all of the elemental forces together. And in this moment in time, you're using the fire forces, the orange and the yellow, or the yellow going out to the orange. So you're actually embracing yellow of the solar plexus and the fire with some of your sacral, second chakra, orange, your emotional body, because you are changing your emotional body. You're changing your thought patterns, and how we change our thought patterns and our brain stuff is through our gut biome, the bacteria in our gut biome. So the from our understanding, from one direction, what we eat affects our moods and our emotions. An emotion or feelings, the subjective, emotions, the objective, a feelings, the subjective, can be a fleeting, momentary state, or it can be prolonged. If a feeling or emotional state gets prolonged, it can turn into a character trait. If that gets really prolonged, it can turn into a personality. And so we've been diversifying and developing and feeding our gut biome health with the bacteria as a primary focus, so that the electrochemical energy then is of its purest form, that goes through the circulatory system or the lymphatic system, the lymph system, the respiratory system, whatever the systems are, to take the electrochemical energy up to the brain, which then transforms into electromagnetic energy, which then sends the electrical impulses down the nervous system to tell the body what to do and to function. So what we call, what one conventionally known as muscle memory, is actually not muscle memory to do with the muscles, it's to do with the neurological pathways, the firing of the neurons in the brain. So we're firing new neurons, and we're doing it regularly to create a new healthy habitual pattern, just like us coming on here live. Having the tops, the faster vibrations put away off up the crown chakra edge, so that space can be created while we're grounded in strong in our root system on the external, the peripheral. So the peripheral, the external, is anchoring in our subjective while it happens. The bird is looking forward, and the cheetah or the leopard is looking to the right. So the magician's just got his eyes going on, just keeping an eye on the tree, the top of the tree, just to make sure the whole thing doesn't catch fire. Because if it does, he's got his water at hand to put it out. Because you can harness all of the elemental forces. And the oracle is crow. So just like the magician has got the pentacle in his paws, when you have all of the elemental forces together in a ball, we see it as the rainbow ball, the alchemization of all the elemental forces. The crow is the Native American astrological animal, power animal for Libra. Libra is about balance. We've got the North Node, the future, the destiny in Libra. So the future and the destiny for the fire elemental, which we all have, but we're then going to split it into the astro parts of Sagittarius, Leo and Aries, which we all have in our charts again. So we're not reading for individuals, we're reading for everyone that holds these energetics, that they can then choose to go down these portals or these gateways if not. And with these cards, that's the air sign as well. Crow's the air sign. So the crow, we can put the crow over here and he's looking at the tree and everything that's going on. Or you could put the crow here and he's looking like he's got his back turned to everything that's going on, but he's a teacher. And teachers know what's going on in the classroom when they're writing on the blackboard or writing on the whiteboard. So they're absolutely incredibly magical cards for the opening valve of the fire elemental forces. And we thank you so much. So Liffruma, we're just wondering if Liffruma can go elsewhere, but Liffruma's just going to go there for now. We can actually do that, and Liffruma can overlook everything else. So we're going to start with the oldest, with Sagittarius. Let's get our alignment. See if we can get it a little bit. That will do. So Sagittarius, we've got, this is your card. And it's I see, you see, or if we're working as a harmonic global nation, we see. We see together, but not through our eyes. We see through all of our senses, especially, more importantly, the sixth multi-energetic sense that holds all the information. And we see with faith of the ninth house, number 33, that's 21, which is 3, the 3 flames, Jupiter, the ruler. You've got the lightning again in here, the forces, the electric energetic, the electric energies, the fire electric energies. 7 is self-growth. Abundance is about growth. Jupiter's the expansive energies about growth. There's a growth in your faith. There's a growth in your faith that makes you see more clearly. And the Liffruma card for you, Sagittarius, is the card that today's, well, it's not, it's tomorrow's, because we do it the day before. So what's just gone out at 8:30 tonight, which we showed you earlier, so it's almost an hour ago, is this card. This is the card that came out today for tomorrow's daily Liffruma card that was scheduled and went out about an hour ago. And that's the owl card. It's the senses of perception that we use to be able to see with our multi energetic sixth sense. Omen, it's 68. So we've got the bridge of 6 from the Tesla code, the unseen energetics, to the bridge of 8, the seen energetics. So for us in the seen tangible world, 2 and 8 are the bridges of balance, over to 6, the unseen bridge of balance. And balance, these were the cards that we overlapped. These are the opening valve cards, and Crow is Libra, which is balance. So there's a balance in the fire energies going on. There's a balance in your numerological energies going on. Yule, if we've still got to learn how to pronounce these. Owl, senses. And it's interesting because today on the words we put in a video that said about the beauty of an owl, because it's not about, oh, it's a spider, we're scared of the spider. It's about being able to see the beauty in everything, to be able to see the strengths of everything. What do rats have that are beneficial? Their intelligence, they clear away waste. What do bats have that serve the environment? Everything has its natural order in the world to rid bugs or insects, to keep that harmonious balance and that symbiotic relationship going on. And that's what we want to welcome into ourselves, into our body. So it's the air again. There's a lot of air coming into this fire reading because of the crow, of the air and the balance. There's the bird and the judgment, because these are the energies that go with all of the individual parts. And the owl is air with the feather, but an owl is more of the nighttime. So there's a real clarity of sight in the nighttime, because we're not taking sight literally. It's the sight we're hearing with sound, sonic sound. We're hearing with our sensory, how we sense something. So it's about sight, but not a visual sight. It's using our internal senses. Omen of astral shadow boxing, shape-shifting night ruler. Owl heralds prophecy from beyond this place. So wake up, wake up, wake up. Pause. Be totally still. Move not a muscle. 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 And tune into the rustlings of the night. Adjust your perception and see, hear, smell, taste, reach, and feel with your inner owl wisdom. What's there behind the hoot, hoot, hoot? What's there behind the hoot? Okay, Sagittarius. You are seeing with your non-literal sight senses in the night time, in the darkness, with ease and faith. And so the macro, the scene, superficial, is Chariot. It's number 7. So we've got a consecutive going on here. So in the linear, even though it's in the nighttime, we've got 6, 7, and 8 going on. 68, 6, 7, 8. We've got a conscious linear mind going on. So even though it's going on, even though these energies and these fire is not a literal sense of fire that we can see with our eyes, it's the internal subjective fire energetics. It's fueling us. There's movement. It's going to be fast movement into the seen tangible realms where there is logic and order and structure of 6, 7, and 8. It's a major arcana theme, and we've got the focal point of a center. So we were talking before, the center of the vortex, the center of the whirlpool, the center of the whirlwind, the center of the tornado, of the storm. It's where the calmness is. That's where the energy gets sucked in. And because you are going to, perhaps your choice, free will, choose to harness the owl senses, so you can see in the nighttime, so you can see in the dark, so you can see when you're dancing deepwards within yourself into the void through the journey of involution to co-consciousness. And the momentum is going to happen through the chariot, the horse energetic vibrations, to get you into. So the chariot is the card of Cancer, which is water, but he's got a pentacle round his neck, which is the earth. So it's manifesting into the seen tangible reality, because not only have you mastered fire and air. You've mastered fire and water. So when you've got fire and water and fire and air, and you can use all of these energetic elemental consciousnesses together, you can bring it into tangible form, into the physical scene reality on the surface. So what's going on in the microcosm deep within, the subjective, not the objective? Sagittarius, you are the ruler of the thighs and the hips and the sacrum and the liver. Very important components for the rainbow energetic weaving and threading of the body. And no wonder we're going to get emotional. No wonder that it's going to manifest out into the physical scene, tangible reality, because your internal rainbow threads of the Ophiuchus energies are beautifully aligned, ready for whatever stage you are at in your Kundalini rising, where there isn't going to be chaos and confusion. There's just going to be a gentle 6, 7, 8, a gentle familiar order go on. So that's the microcosm and the macrocosm. Absolutely fantastic. So what's going on in the in-between? Because that might be fantastic on the microcosm and the macrocosm, but the threads that connect the two, the bridges of the 6 and 8 that connect the two, they might not be finished built yet. You might not actually be able to get onto the bridge. You need to be able to get onto the bridge from the macrocosm. You need to be able to get onto the bridge from the microcosm so they can cross over. So this beautiful weaving and energetic threads isn't just happening on the inside and outside, it's happening in the middle as well. So what's going on in your middle? And you had 2 cards come out for this one. Okay. So look at that. That could be 2 pretty daunting, scary cards to start with, couldn't it? Death and the 3 of Swords. You don't have none of this beautiful harmonic alignment going on. You've just got kind of chaos and red threads keeping these swords together in no order or pattern. And then you've got this dying, decayed skeleton of a bird. So it's the bird energies again. But it's okay because you can see in the dark. You can see in Steph, Scorpio's card of transformation and water, because you have the air energies for the oxygen to breathe. You have the chariot energies of the Cancer to understand the water, but still be anchored to earth and solid land, not to get lost. So yes, although yes, your insides, your subjective in deep internal and your objective external are amazing, and that's what matters, because they will come together. There is still transitioning going on in your liminal state, in your in-between state. There's still transformation going on to be able to unweave and unwind the red threads, the root chakra threads on these swords, so that you can gather them up and then neatly wrap the twine around them so that it's ordered. It's not just like, let's say you knit or something and you don't pack away your wool in the right way and all your different colored wools get mixed up into each other. There's going to be some order and structure that comes to it, but you're still transforming some final heart wounds. You're still transforming some deep wounded child emotions and narratives that's going on. But that's okay, because you've got your Liffruma unconditional love narratives going on, and you've got your roots that go deep. So you have all the tools that you need to have to be able to create the harmonic alignment from inside to outside to gain the momentum if you so choose. But it will take a regular practice. It will take effort, but it doesn't need to take much effort. It can be effortless effort, just to do a little bit every day of something. Maybe you can't wash the dishes in the kitchen, in the sink, but you can rinse them and then stack them up neatly and tidy. So rather than your leftover dinner plates just end up building up and it's a mess, you've put the food off the plate away, you've kind of soaked them to get rid of the yucky stuff, and then you stack them up neatly, already pre-washed, so that when they're ready to do a proper wash, they're nowhere near as bad, and you don't have moldy food and stuff growing on them. So the in-between state is still a little bit of a challenge, but it's a challenge that you're more than you can navigate. You can do it. You've just got to bide your time, breathe, know when to be, know when to do. And when the challenging emotions arise, we buzz and hum and shake our way through it. We chat if we can to the emotions. We do mirror talk. We take ourselves outside to the sun if we can. We curl up in bed, we stroke and be with Zendaya, our cat, or we watch TV or something. The thing is, we attempt to always do different things and to embrace it. We use sound, we use smoke, singing bowls, so just see what's out there to embrace, to self-manage and bring these tools onto you. And if you want to go and speak to someone else or bring it in, you can do that. You don't have to do it all on your own, but we are about sales management and sales accountability and sales responsibility, and not becoming reliant on others, standing on our own 2 feet. And you're perfectly able to do that. And so let's see the last card, your oracle. Because you are going to be the phoenix and you're going to rise out of the flames. Spirit card. The phoenix is the root chakra. You've organized the red threads beautifully. Your final layers of transformation on the in-between state, in-betweens, the liminal state, so that your microcosm and your macrocosm can align. You couldn't ask more than to be the phoenix rising out of the ashes. And that doesn't really need much explanation. It is spirit card, it is the root chakra, but you've got the orange and the yellow, and you've got the air. So phoenix is like air, but you've got the fire, your spirit, your passion. Go Sagittarius. Oh, we're so happy for you, Sagittarius. That is such a beautiful, amazing reading. And again, where is Sagittarius in your chart? What house is it in your chart? Do you have planets in it? If you don't have planets in it, it just means you're very, well, we read once and we feel this, that you're very au fait with those energies. And the only time you have to really focus on dancing and working with Sagittarius energies is when you have a planet transit, when you have something transiting through it, or whatever's currently going on in the sky. And so Sagittarius energies come easy to you because we've got these all in a chart. So your Sagittarius energies come easy to you, for you, and there is a bit of burning off that's going to be happening. So we're closing your energies down now so they don't impact the rest of the energies. And we apologize. We didn't say at the start, thank you, Sagittarius, for welcoming in, did we? But thank you, Sagittarius. We just do this. Mind you, I don't know if we want to do that every time. Thank you so much. I'm going to cover the camera. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for welcoming us in to experience and perceive the quantum realms through your energetic lenses of perception. That was just beautiful and magical and exciting and fiery and passionate and wise, just like yourself. Namaste. So, Leo, how's it going? Retrograde Venus in your planet, the Lion's Gate. Oh, Leo, your energies are just literally on fire, inwards, deeply inwards. Venus retrograde, introspection, inwards, the values on so many levels. You can do your own research to find those deeper. So here are your cards, Leo. You will dive in. Or we'll put this back, shall we? Did we say Did we say that? I think we did. Well, just in case we didn't, we Leo, thank you for welcoming us in to experience the quantum realms through your energetic lenses of perception. Shall we see what's going on? It hasn't gone onto the matrix screen yet. I think we managed to sort out that sleep timer. So Leo, yes you will, yes you can. Because if you can, you can. And if you say you can't, you can't. Your choice. And you will. The house 5 of your collectives of creativity. Your creative juices are flowing, especially with the opening valve energies of the fire energetics. They were just absolutely incredible, especially when you've got the Liffruma card overruling it all. So yes, you will with creativity. 29, 9 minus 2 is a 7. 1 times 7, you got the 8 there for the 8-8 portal, but 1 times 7 is 7. So you got 77 there, is the number of spirituality. 7 is also self-growth. And your ruling planet is Sun, the spirit, number 1. And we just had a very unusual sound and sensation in our solar plexus area. So what's going on for you in your body? Can you feel anything stirring up in your solar plexus area? That is ruled by the sun, and there's so many activations going on deep inside at the moment. So let's see your Liffruma card, Leo, for these magical fire energies. It's number 15. The number of the devil card, but the devil for us is just about understand the devil's about, it's just earth, it's the earthly pleasures, it's being human. It's why we incarnate as energy into human form as energy, because it's not from energy, although energy does transform into human form, to experience earth as a playground through the 5 physical senses. But sometimes things can get distorted and wired funny, and we lose our sense of equilibrium. We lose our sense of self-discipline, 41, and moderation, 14. And so 14 being the temperance card, Sagittarius, where we've just come from actually on the energetics. And so we go into 15, the devil card, and that balance gets out of hand, and that's then when habitual patterns then can create addictions, because we don't want to feel, but yet we want to feel at the same time, and we forget that we need to feel our way through the pain in the different bodies, the physical body, the emotional body, and understand that there are natural ways that we can do things, but we can balance out natural ways and medicine to do whatever we need to do at the time to find the flow in the moment, where we feel protection. But it's not that where we feel protection because we're in the devil energy, so we're still living through an emotionally immature state of perception where we feel we need protection because we fear the devil. We don't understand a new conceptualization of the devil, whereas the devil comes from a long history of religion and heaven and hell, where all of this is just symbolic words and language to either put fear into people, into man, to control them, or just symbolic language to interpret something in a way that kind of makes sense to our limited waking conscious earthly mind, our beta brainwave length, because the unseen energetic subjective realms can be quite confusing. Excuse us, we're just trying to adjust our posture. We're looking at the rune. It's like because you're attempting to balance on one leg, And sometimes we need to actually use both legs to stand up first. And once we've got our understanding of the gravitational pull of Earth, then we can start balancing on one leg with our arms spread up wide. So sometimes you need to turn yourself upside down to get that tripod stance of, this is bringing us into, pretty sure that there's these two, this rune, one like this and one like that. It's 31 treadle that came out the other day. That was the bonus card for Sagittarius in one of the last readings. Soul Prince. We can't remember the one for that one. So that's the south and the west almost, and this is like the north. So you're getting so Sagittarius energetics could be really influential, looking into your Sagittarius chart to understand, to change these emotionally immature states of perception and understand them, to look to your older, wiser Sagittarius energies in your chart and see what's going on there to facilitate a deeper inner knowing. So for us, to give an example, our Leo, if our Leo energies, we're going to look to our Sagittarius energies. Our Leo is in house 12 and our Sagittarius is in house 4. So we could look at that from the numbers. 12 is actually adds up to 3, which comes before 4, which could be seen as more immature, emotional. It's younger. 3 is younger than 4. It's our Neptune in Sagittarius. And it's not, we say our Leo's house 12, it's not house 12. Our Leo is our rising. And our North Node is our... So Leo is house 12. Apologies. Leo is house 12, but our house 12 is empty. And the last degree of Leo is house 1 because it's our ascendant. And then a few minutes later, you have our North Node. So therefore, Leo is younger than Sagittarius. And that's probably the case all the time. Oh, I don't know. We're getting confused now, so we're not going to go there. So our North Node and our rising ascendants could learn from the planet in Sagittarius, which is Neptune. And the planet in Sagittarius, Neptune, is actually the ruler of house 12, which is the majority of Leo for us. So that's about imagination and creativity and the water element. And sometimes we need to have water to dampen down the fire. Like if you've got a barbecue and the barbecue is getting too hot and burning the meat, you'd sprinkle water on it. And so understanding how to use the elemental force of water to manage and control, where you don't put the fire out, but you can cool down the fire, but you can cool it down. And elks, they're like and they like big male, are they male deer? I don't know if they're male specifically, but they're big deer with horns, and when they fight can be pretty intense. So the Leo energies in you, when they aren't balanced, could be quite conflictive. Bugle calls, communication rules. Listening is key to understanding. And we'd like to add to that, though, sometimes understanding not to understand, surrendering the conscious mind's need to know and understand, and just understanding from intuitive, body, sensory, completely different perspective. Auk command respect to protect anything. Is that a vocal fawning or defensive warning? Hark! Auk can bark, chirp, whistle, mew, bray, bleat, sing, scream, and chuckle. Can you call an Auk to find your voice and stand your ground? We were just talking about the standing with this as well. So if you're not got your balance in your body, widen your stance. Actually widen, pretend this middle bit here is like your invisible tail. So your coccyx is coming down and you've got this invisible cat tail that's moving to create this stability and this balance. Or like you're an avatar, you're one of the blue avatar people with your tail, and you've got your legs wide and you can point your feet out, or you can point them in, or one can go out and one can go in. And where's your weight on your feet? So just to create that stance of stability in your body. And when you've got that stance of stability in your body, the alignment's there, and your whole vocal tone, your voice is resonant, and one can feel empowered and strong within themselves rather than hiding away. So it's awkward because we feel awkward because we attempt to create narratives, but then we tend to just switch, and it doesn't go straight on, and it doesn't follow or make sense or flow. So your macrocosm Leo energies is the Sun of Cups. You've got all your magical rainbow energies in this magic cup. And here, it's because we're talking about patternology being the bridge. The patternology is loads of arrows pointing upwards. And so here, the patternology is the arrow pointing downwards. So you actually have this mirror opposite balance of the downwards and the upwards to create space in the middle. And when you have that space created in the middle, you have the elegance and the grace of swan, but yet swans can be fierce. You don't want to mess with a swan, just like the elk you need for protection. So it's all about in the energy that we hold within ourselves. And the Sun of Cups, that's the emotions, but the suns are like the knights, which are the momentum and movement. So although there is a stillness within this swan's energies, there's momentum and movement inside, prepared and ready. So it's kind of like the coiling of the energy, or the Kundalini energy. It's there, but whether it gets released or not depends. It's your choice. So it's like the slingshot. We can pull the elastic back of a slingshot. I wanted to get out of an analogy of slingshot earlier, but whether you choose to actually let that go and project momentum forward or not is your choice. So Sun of Cups as well, we perceive that to be a 12. So you've got 12 and 15 here. Which could be a 3 and a 4. So you've got consecutive order going on. So if that's your macrocosm, what's your microcosm looking like? Your microcosm's looking a bit sad, a bit droopy. Or maybe not. He's looking a bit sad and a bit droopy, but it's dark. We can choose how to perceive something. He's actually got his head down and he's drinking some water because he's thirsty. All this fire energy is getting him quite hot, and so he won't go down there, and he wants to have a bit of a... So we have a bit of water, shall we? So are you being hydrated? Are you hydrating yourself with beneficial fluids? And if you don't like water, you can have herbal tea. But not just are you... So we can drink lots of water and hydrate ourselves, but still be dehydrated. Are you getting enough water-soluble fibre? Water-soluble fibre is really important. So things from your fruits, your vegetables, chia seeds, even I think psyllium husk and rice bran, but I'm not too sure on those ones. I think they're water-soluble fibres. But yeah, make sure you're drinking enough water-soluble fibres, or getting and eating enough water, or intake of enough water-soluble fibres, so that when you're drinking your water, it's going to keep you hydrated. Because if you're not hydrated, you're going to get connective tissue, fascia adhesions more, which is going to create more stress, more tension, more tightness, more headaches, and then you could just actually get a bit droopy and sad and in pain, because you've been down there drinking the water so much, but you're not being rehydrated because you haven't got your water-soluble fibre. and so then for your body's getting into a position which isn't beneficial and not serving you. And the 5 being, you've got a connection though, because this 515 here, you can do 1 times 5, which is 5, and a 5. So 5 is the number of change, which brings freedom. Change isn't always comfortable, but it does bring freedom. And you have freedom of choice to whether to choose whether you want to change or not. And if you don't want to change, that's fine. Just own it. Don't say you want to change, but you're not then going to put in the actions to change. Just go, it's too much. I'm not going to, you know, just own it, to be honest with yourself. And actually what will just naturally change from less is more by owning something and not deluding yourself will be, we feel, will be quite amazing. So here we've actually got 3, 4, 5. So we've got a real chronological order going on. So what connects your microcosm and your macrocosm? The sad, droopy, dehydrated from one perspective. From another perspective, just going about, it's just a bit dark, it's nighttime, he's just drinking his water. So what connects to how we perceive the microcosm and experience the microcosm, and from what way to the macrocosm of this stable momentum that's ready to move when it's needed to, because it's able to listen. Ai to momo dai di to nata. It's just amazing, isn't it? Because here's your elk. We're just talking about how elks can have big horns and fight and cause a bit of conflict and grief, and here he is. But look at his horns. His horns are all lit up with the rainbow colors, all the energies. His horns are the antennae. So you've got a son and you've got a father. You've got the father of earth, the king of earth, and the son of cups, the knight of cups, the knight of emotions. So you've got the knight of cups, the romantic, able to put a romantic stance on this and see the microcosm as he's just thirsty, he's just drinking water and it's okay, which is the truth. Or he's just drinking water, he's just thirsty, it's okay, which is an illusion. Really, he's been drinking water for ages and there's something not quite right, and we need to look somewhere else to get that. But King of Earth, you're owning it. You know how to own it. You know how to bring in the signals, and you know how to intertwine the microcosm and the macrocosm so that there is this true idealistic choice, romantic version of what's going on in here, so that rather than, let's say, the victim consciousness narrative that we've been telling ourselves, we've been telling ourselves our whole life, can start changing, because we're reading more books, we're watching more things, we're listening to more things, so we're gaining a wider vocabulary, or we're putting in a search into a eco-friendly search engine or a private search engine like DuckDuckGo or Ecosia, where it actually plants trees for you. Trees are our lungs and can help us breathe more. And you type in a word to look up what other words come up for this word, and you can write down your old victim consciousness narrative of all your traumas and stuff that happened to you as a child that wasn't fair and that wasn't right. And then you can look up different words and you can change that narrative so that your mess becomes your message, and just do it with this healthy, grounded, balanced Father of Pentacles view on it, so there isn't a conflict internal and without. Yeah, we love that. So what's your Leo? What is your oracle, wild unknown oracle? Because you're a bee. You're a honeybee. You don't have sugar anymore. You have honey. You have raw organic honey, because raw organic honey is amazing for the digestive system, is amazing for the energy, and actually protects while you're releasing all these early childhood traumas and narratives and changing them into your new healthy stories with help of Elk and Father of Pentacles, to give yourself the to be your own Knight of Cups and Knight in Shining Armor. You defy the laws of gravity as well with that big body and those tiny wings, and you're able to dance the quantum realms, the unseen, and you're able to dance the seen, objective, earthly realms as well, because we were talking about the devil energies earlier, because you understand your new changing of narratives, using different words from the thesaurus to gain your moderation and your self-discipline, 14 and 41. With your air energies of B, still got all your solar plexus energies, but you just got a little bit of orange, a little tiny bit of your sacral chakra energies. Your emotions don't rule you anymore. You've got your green heart, you've got the external, your unconditional love, your deeper heart, your child start heart with your Liffruma unconditional love is able to be projected out into the world with the Father of Cups energies, with the green, with strength and stability, compassion, unconditional love, all the king energies, while you defy the laws of nature and gravity and Newton's laws to shock all of those around you. These are being beautiful, magical readings again. Ever so grateful for them. Really, yeah, it's really an honor. So we're going to close off your energies, Leo, and just say thank you. That was, thank you. That was also a really magical. We're getting emotional again. I'm tired. But thank you, Leo, for allowing us to dance into the quantum realms and experience your energetics and experience the quantum realm energetics through your lenses and filters of perception. It was an honor. Thanks, Leo. So, hi, Aries. How are you? How are you? Do you just need to take a few moments to just be and breathe? It's a sigh on your way out, on the way out of the exhalation. Welcome, Aries. Thank you, Aries. The fire energies are getting us going. We've just had 2 magical readings from Sagittarius and Leo. Actually, the opening valve to let the air in to fuel it was incredible as well. So, namaste, Aries. Thank you for welcoming us in to experience the quantum realms through your energetic lenses of perception. Should we turn over your cards? Watch us get carried away with the fire now. So, Aries. Oops, we'll put this one back. Aries. I am. So Venus retrograde. No, one more. No, Venus retrogrades in Leo at the moment. Sorry, we're getting confused there. Venus is... What's in Aries at the moment? There's something going on with Aries at the moment. The South Node's in Aries. I can't remember what's going on with Aries, but you might want to check that out. I'm sure there's something planetary going on with Aries at the moment. It's not just the South Node, but there's I am. So if we've brought up the South Node is like the past, it's the karma. And we're reading for energies in everyone. These are the Aries energies in everyone. And so if the I am, especially with spirituality and consciousness, it's the I am. But for us, that doesn't make sense, because for the I am is the singular. We're going to take this banner off. It's really just, so that's interesting. We've just noticed the banner at the bottom on your sign. So there's an attention to detail. There's an attention to movement. You're the younger energy, so maybe not to be so bold and outgoing, and just to not take a step back and think, but take a step back and breathe and be and allow, so that the natural energies of momentum can flow when they're meant to. And what we're saying about the I am, it's like there's the spiritual concept of I am. When you reach the state of I am, I think it's referred to like the self-realization and etc. But for us, that doesn't work, because for an emotionally unaware, not and this isn't meant to be derogatory or condescending or patronizing or anything, but this is what we notice within our little uns, in us, is there's when we're new at something and we don't know it very well, and if we don't, not very good with the words or the language or other things, then the I is where there's a sense of self. It's I, it's me, it's all about me, I'm the main character of my story. Whereas if we're attempting to connect to the unseen energetics, to God, to Allah, to the unconditional love, to awareness, then we need to understand the symbiotic relationship that goes on in our microcosm and the macrocosm. So for us, it's a we are. I mean, for us, literally, it is we are. There's many of us in this one body, but the many of us in this one body is just our unique way of dancing the journey of getting to know ourselves, because of our specific traumas that fragmented the body, because of growing up in a world and a society that thinks in the part and compartmentalizes things and just fragments everything, rather than thinking in the whole, experiencing in the whole, experiencing in the we are. It's like we are a host, humans are a host body that have huge amounts of bacteria going on in all over them, that make up the bacterial communities, that make up the cell, that make up the cellular communities. And so for us, our alternate personalities is just our body speaking to us. It's our bacteria and our cells speaking to us. It just does it in a very unique way, because we've had to be suppressed, because we've been oppressed, because of our experiences in life. And you can look down into our description if you want to know more about that. So for us, we feel it would be Aries we are, because that includes all of you inside, however you express or present or identify, but it's also we are in a group and a community external of us. It doesn't segregate, it includes, and we're all about inclusion. And the first house is the body. So it's like I am the body. It's like we are the body. The body is the avatar for our energetics, and the body is a multitude of single individual expressions of consciousness communicating through whatever its role is in the bacteria, in the cell, in the cellular community, the system, but to all work in a symbiotic relationship, a harmonic relationship. So we much prefer we are the body, the first house, the new way of seeing, the new way of being, the new way of experiencing, so that we can create a healthy masculine energetics of the force, rather than this war, rather than conflict, rather than aggro, because it's about the I am, or that's mine, I don't want to share. It's like, well, we share in our body, we create space in our body, we share outside of us as well. it just creates a much more beautiful way. And that's our language is not the best at the moment, and we're getting a bit tired, so it might go downhill a bit, but we are is much more inclusive. It's healthy masculine terminology, energetics, and if we do that for ourselves internally and we say it externally, we are, then we're automatically starting the reprogramming with our words of our individual most amazing quantum bioorganic computers of a body, which then reflects out, projects out through the biggest electromagnetic field of the heart with the heart neurons to infect other people. So Aries, that was a very interesting start for your energetics there. So we see what Liffruma has to say for you, Aries. Oops. Oh, we were talking about that card earlier. We didn't get it, but we were talking about it in Leo's energies. 6 again. So where did 6 come up? Oh, 68 came up in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius might be, we read the energies of all of it, but Sagittarius energies are entwined with your energies, Aries, because it was 68 there and this is 60. So there's an entanglement between the 6 and the 8. And what we're just noticing now actually is Sagittarius has got the 8 from the Liffruma as well, which is the opening valve card. Thy earthly power. So yeah, you have, when we go from the I am, the singularity, the immature, it's all about me, into the we are, the community, the collective, the community within the body of the microcosm, the community without of the body, the immediate, and the community of the macrocosm, the galaxy. We create a healthy earthly power force of thy. By knowing thyself into a we are, we create earthly power, which is kind of like half of the sun symbol with a dot to the side. Earth power, personal power, thine alone, carved in stone before birth. In that other place, sizzle of the cosmic gift that awaits, birthing through you, by you, for you. Esoteric secrets of the full moon eclipse, where worry and ruin are dissolved by the light of being seeded in the earth. The earth magus, oldest sacral cycle completed, shadows burnished, soul refurnished. So what's coming to us there is the next eclipse is it October, November, or September, October? So October. So the eclipse in October is going to be of influence to you, Aries, to your Aries energies. There might be some clarity, some waking up in certain areas of esoteric, so that there might be some esoteric secrets shared, or knowledge to do with, so more maybe shamanic esoteric. Shamanic can be esoteric, yeah. Shamanic we see as more earthly, and then you've got the more cosmic. We're not sure if esoteric just means more like the cosmic occult out there. But I think it can mean all of it. There's so many different words. We're still learning what kind of goes where and everywhere. But we're seeing lots of people in here. So there might be, if you do work with guides, you might have new guides coming in and old guides leaving, or more guides just all working together. Or you might, I don't know, what's coming to us now is you might start kind of seeing ghosts or entities around that eclipse, if you're open to it. If you're not open to it, these things won't happen, or maybe it might happen to show that that option's available to you, and you can then choose to go, no, that's too much for me, I'm not ready for that, I don't want it. But if you are open to it, some of these entities, which you can choose to only have entities of the that are going to serve your best interest and the highest good of all concerned. So there's no need to be fearful, because we're working under the energetics of Liffruma in this. But we do have to be consciously awake and aware of things, because otherwise it can be a lot and it can be too much for our conscious mind. So we need to know we thy earthly power, but we need to know thyself. We need to know ourselves to know if we'll be ready for such a thing or not. So your world unknown macro, temperance, 14. And we'd say that if you did choose to go down that path into the esoteric secrets and knowledge, that you're very balanced in your fire energies. You've got your water, you've got the alchemization between water and fire. That we've been looking at the patterns in the background. In the background, these patterns are arrows pointing downwards, so that you're grounded. You've got the gravitational pull with earth, you're grounded. So if you want to experience some higher, faster vibrational frequencies of unseen energetics that are going to present themselves in certain dimensions as like ghosts or guides or spirits as such, then that option's available to you, and you'll feel, I don't want like this word, but you'll feel safe with it. If it's something you've been questioning and wanting to do but not too sure, then the energies are pointing in a very balanced, harmonic way that you'll just get taken. Is it a crane? The crane will just take you with its wings and give you a cuddle, and the feathers will feel soft, and you'll just feel really comforted, and wonder why you hadn't done it sooner. So that's the macrocosm. That's on the outside, the surface. So is your microcosm agreeing? Or is your microcosm not agreeing? Is your microcosm aligned with these energies? So let's say that same kind of balance going on inside. I think so. Two major arcanas. You've got the temperance, which is 14. 1 times 4 could be a 4, and this is the emperor, 4. So you've got 4 and 4, structure, firm, balanced, strong foundations and structure and integrity. And there's that eclipse. We were talking about the eclipse again in this card here. We talked about the eclipse in October, the 2 eclipses that are happening. That eclipse tunnel and that eclipse is going to be very big for you, because we've got the eclipse here. This one actually looks like it's a total solar eclipse. So the total solar eclipse might have more of a, that's on your microcosm. The total solar eclipse might have more of an effect and an impact on your internal subjective reality, how you experience and perceive the unseen realms, your subjective experiences. So there might be a big change of perception where you might not have been, for instance, you've had something on your mind and you haven't had clarity and you've been wanting to see it in a different way or from a different perspective, but you just can't. That could happen, that could come, because these are just the energetics, these are the potential. Whether you choose to harness it or not, it's entirely up to you. But the energies are absolutely amazing. They've just been incredible for all of the reading so far. So what's bridging your microcosm? What's bridging your microcosm and your macrocosm for these energies to take place that are just so beautiful? Okay, so you've got the Son of Pentacles and the 10 of Wands. The Father of Pentacles was in Leo's read, and Leo, we've got Leo, Venus retrograde in Leo at the moment. So there'll be a correlation and a connection between, direct correlation and connection between Leo and Aries energies in your chart. And when you're able to use this new subjective lens of perception that you're going to experience after the total solar eclipse, the next one in October time, the whole 10 of wands burden that you've been feeling is going to be lifted. Someone's going to have come along and picked up all those sticks and organized them and put them in a neat pile, so you've got plenty of chopped up wood and fuel ready for the winter. The sun's the night, is the movements, but it's a slow movement. So it's about you're just being steady. So if the eclipse energetic kicks are going to be big for you, but it's not going to be big in a moving type of momentum and energy that's going to shake you up and just make it feel chaotic. It's going to be a very stable, balanced, internal, subjective and external, microcosm and macrocosm shift. So there's nothing to fear. We don't like that word, but there's nothing to fear. And if any of the fear's happening, that's from the old habitual unserving narratives and patterns that are happening. And just to stay balanced, and almost if there's all this stability going on, to actually have a shake and to move up, to start your day with a dance to some music that you like, or maybe not to choose the dance to the music, maybe to turn on the radio so that whatever you move and dance to, or move and shake to, whatever, move around on the floor, whatever you're capable of, doesn't have to be much. It's decided from the music rather than your conscious mind. Otherwise we can put on the same thing, or we can put on something we like. Because what we noticed was we were doing some colouring in inspired by Liffruma cards, and that colouring in, we wouldn't have chosen certain colours because we don't really like them. But when we embrace what we don't like, it helps to move and shift things up, so we don't have this habitual pattern that creates 10 of wands energies. And again, you've got this moon card up here, but you've got like the pentacle almost eclipsing the moon. So I don't think it's a full moon eclipse, is it? Well, no, the total solar eclipse happens on, and then there's the lunar eclipse. So one happened on the full moon and one happened on the new moon. We know all this stuff, but whenever we come on here to do it, it's just gone. But that's what Steph says, isn't it? The linear mind, and we've got many of them, doesn't function when in these realms and dimensions so much. But we will get there and make it happen. So Aries, what is your Kim Kran's Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle? Oh, let's see. Oh, it's the starfish, it's the hope, and it's the wishes. Beautiful energies. It's the Venus pentagon, the 5-pointed star. 5 relates to the 5 relates to the 5, and the 8 does actually relate to Venus in the paternology and the numerology and the cycles. I think it's our Candle card that came out a little while ago that has all the imagery for that on it. Starfish have got regrowth and regeneration, so regeneration is happening. The star is conventionally thought of as up in the sky and up in the cosmos, but now you're in the ocean of consciousness, and you're at home in the ocean of consciousness. You know how to experience the inner subjective realms, which is going to shift on this October with the eclipse with such ease. So you might not be feeling it quite yet. These are the energetic, and you might not even feel it after this. It's up to you whether you choose to harness these energies or not. It says energetic potential. But if you choose to harness these energetic potential, the regeneration, the growth, that at-homeness in the quantum realms, in consciousness, is just magical and amazing. And you're just able to alchemize with strength, balance and flexibility of emperor energies in your subjectivity and objectivity, to be able to communicate it to whoever and whatever around you in their best interest. It might be nature that you're communing with, it might be animals, it might be children, it might be people, it might be a group, it might be work, but however you need to do it, that communication is just going to be easy because it's pouring out of your heart electromagnetic field through the regeneration, through that stability. Excuse us. With the unconditional love, Liffruma energies. Isn't that how we started your reading, Aries? Pretty sure that's how we started your reading. We started your reading with a This time it's a grateful Thank you so much, Aries, for allowing us to experience the quantum realms through your energetic lenses of perceptions. We've just been honoured by all three of your fire energies. Oh, Aries, your reading. But all of the fire energies reading. But we've still got one more. Well, no, we've got two more. We've got the closing down of the fire energies, which was a good idea before going to bed. But Ophiuchus. So as I said, as we said at the start, there's the Ophiuchus from the inside out, and there's the Ophiuchus from the outside in. And so the inside out, and this is the Ophiuchus from the inside out of the fire energies. And then at the end, there will be the outside in, which will just be focused on Ophiuchus. So it'll be Ophiuchus, and then it'll be the fire energies in Ophiuchus, rather than Ophiuchus being a part of the fire energies like each astro sign. It will be Ophiuchus Sagittarius, Ophiuchus Leo, Ophiuchus Aries. That's interesting. We didn't actually know that ourselves yet. It's all flowing as it flows, as we gained better understanding of our own unique way of communing with source energy and the language of source energy, which we're gaining through first-hand experimental. No, it's not experimental. Well, I suppose it is experimental. Experiential, I think we wanted to say, doing. So these are your cards that we've got for you, that was chosen. They're kind of fires like passion and creativity. And so these were just two. It's like kind of like the water dragon. It's kind of like it's another. We're getting really different feeling and sound going on that we've never had quite before. And we can hear it, but we can't necessarily feel. Yeah, it's hard to describe. So yeah, there's magical stuff going on connecting wise between your snake energies inside. But there's maybe a bit of ambiguity and confusion because there's an unfamiliarity. Our words aren't quite there. Because there's an unfamiliarity. We're going to turn this back around. And so the more your Ophiuchus, your snake, which is the snake bearer, but the more you understand yourself, the more you're able to manage the snake, the more you're able to practice and learn your flute, the more you're able to charm that snake out of the basket and enable it to dance the way you want it to dance, depending how you play the tune on the flute. And the more you do that, then the unserving energetics that are holding on will just release and fall away, because the new energetics that are coming into play have a faster vibration, a higher frequency that just discombobulates all those other ones. So there's this natural, and even we're looking at the writing here, there's the natural egg timer of curve of that like DNA pattern of the snaking going round. Okay, Ophiuchus, what have we got for you in the Liffruma card? Sagittarius? No. Leo. Yeah, Leo. So this was the one that Sagittarius got in the ShintoSEYE lunar Liffruma magic. And we were talking about that because that was the one we couldn't remember, because 31 Steddle, I think it's called, Soul Prince, was the downwards one. So we've got the 3 directions of the energies there. So this is a really, oops, that's the wrong one. So Leo energies for your Ophiuchus, which makes sense because we've got Venus retrograde in Leo at the moment. Leo is the heart chakra, heart and upper back. We've got the unconditional love here. So there's the main focus of your Ophiuchus energies at the moment are around the heart, around Leo energies. And even here we've got this was looking like a lion last time. And we can still see how it was looking like a lion last time with this mane and this face, but it's actually looking like an adder snake. Is it an adder? No, it's not an adder, is it? What's the snake you've got with the rattlesnake? No, rattlesnake's got the thing at the end. But I think, is a rattlesnake got their wide head bit that comes up? Yeah, I think we're looking, this looks like the big wide-headed snake anyway. And that actually looks like a snake tongue, doesn't it, too, as well? Stenkness, scent, tested, 62. We've got the 6 again there as well. 62 together equals 8 for the 888 portal, or minus together equals 4. 4 came up a lot in Aries energies. You stand before the great rod, the dragon yoga, who chews the corpses that litter the shore before the gargantuan gateway. In monstrous silence, Nyagor inhales your essence to test your measure. Nyagor cherishes fearlessness as he squares you directly in the eyes and holds you fixed. Will you fail and crawl, or will you stand tall and match Nyagor's might? You're cool, but don't knock if you're not prepared to fall. So, Ophiuchus, if you so you're entwined with Leo really strongly currently, but to give you that strength and that stability comes from Aries. Your connection to Aries will give you the strength and the stability to navigate your connection with Leo. So let's see what else is going to come. For the macrocosm of Ophiuchus, the internal snake bearer of all the chakra energies. See, this, we said Aries would help you, and this has got the total solar eclipse in it, like Aries. Aries had that on the Emperor card of the microcosm. You've got it in this, the 2 of Swords, in the macrocosm. So Aries will really help the Ophiuchus internal subjective realms become stable. And for us, the 2 of Swords, we heard actually someone call the 2 of Swords today peace. Some people don't really like the 2 of Swords, I don't think. But it's the cross energy. It's the cross energy that creates the stability. 2 of Swords for us is where it's got the blindfold over the face, and when you've got the blindfold over your face, you can't see because you're using your internal senses. You're using your intuitive senses of perception, which correlates a lot to the eclipse energy. So this eclipse in October, the eclipse is in October. I'm not sure if it's October, just October, or if it's October, November, but you can do your own research for that. It's going to be really impactful to fully embrace the 2 of Swords frequencies of peace, because peace has been gained because you've got the stability within for your snake energies to flow to the surface and to the macrocosm, where we don't need the sight, the visual sight of perception it's about closing off, blind self, fold yourself up, put a bandage around your head, put a scarf around your eyes and your head, and experience the sounds and the feelings that go on with a blindfold around your eyes and your head. So what's your microcosm looking like? Tito Pomomanga. Yeah, that just made us a bit confused. So that's the Leo one, we think, isn't it? No. Really? Was it Aries? No. Was it Sagittarius? Was it that long ago? We've had it before, haven't we? No. So it's not Sagittarius. We've seen this card before. Yeah, it is. It's Leo. Look. You just missed it. It's the in Leo, it's the macrocosm. And we just said how your energies are entwined with Leo's. I mean, you can't get more entwined. Oh, sorry, no, it's not the macrocosm. It's the in-between. So that's fascinating. So you're the in-between energies that join the macrocosm, that bridge, link, join the macrocosm and the microcosm is your same. So you're how do we so we said you're strongly entangled with Leo. You are strongly entangled with Leo. Leo is your exact gateway of alignment from the microcosm, the unseen, the subjective. That's your bridge to get to the macrocosm, to the balanced perception, and seeing and perceiving and experiencing without the conventional sight of sense. Like in NASA, they're teaching kids how to read books with blindfolds on. So it's that's what we're on about. So how do we, what's your bridging energies then? If Leo's your bridge of exactness, of the gateway, what's your actual bridge in this now? Look at that. It's the Wheel of Fortune. The 10, the karmic completion. So this wheel here, the pentacle up here, is this pentacle here. You've got your nighttime, you've got your sun time, so you've got day and night. The eclipse, total solar eclipse, is turning the day into night, which is what you're able to do. You're able to have, once you blindfold yourself off. I mean, you've even got people in Japan, that to prepare for natural disasters and blackouts, they'll all just put blindfolds on and go out in these groups and prepare what it's like, as it's pretending that you're blind. What else just came to us then as well? Some people did an experiment where you just put a blindfold on and attempt to go around your own house blind, just like to change your senses. Because when you put the blindfold on, you're cutting off your hearing as well. So you're changing your balance, because you're changing the sound frequencies going into your inner ear, and it's your inner ear that creates balance in the body. And so it's almost like it doesn't matter if it's day, it doesn't matter if it's night. It doesn't matter how the wheel's turning, there's timelessness. You're able to bring yourself into the present state, into the present moment, understanding the rainbow antennae to receive information from the cosmos, knowing how to weave it into your dream catcher to catch whatever dreams you want to catch, to manifest into the physical reality, because you understand how kids read a book with a blindfold on in like NASA. Pretty magical skills, Ophiuchus. So yeah, eclipse energies. Leo's your bridge directly out to the macrocosm through the exact gateway of the Father of Pentacles, the King of Earth. But through Aries. Aries, we forgot why Aries was now, but Aries is there. So your oracle card, so look at that. Spiders can feel the slightest of vibrations on their web, which is what you will be able to do when you go into this Two of Swords energies through the blindfold. But not to worry. It's not like you're going to be, it's not like you're sensitive already and you're just going to become super hypersensitive and it's all going to be too overwhelming and too much. You've got your King of Earth energies inside. You've got your King of Earth energies through Leo that you're closely entwined with to go out to the macrocosm, and you're using the Emperor energies of the eclipse energies from your Two of Swords that's happening in Aries. And look at the way that this rainbow spider web is so much more organized and beautiful than the Wheel of Fortune 10 of Cups web. So your your sixth energetic multi-sense is really waking up to the subtle energetics in all of the wavelengths, rainbow frequencies, beautifully. And you just need to choose where to make your web, and your dinner will get delivered. Just reminding us of a video that we did, a short on one of our channels, with a spider eating a fly. Spider and the fly. Reminding us now of that poem. There was an old lady that ate a spider. We read that poem as well. So we're having lots of connections now between different things we've done. So Ophiuchus, your rainbow energetics within the fire elemental consciousness of your deep journeying inwards to co-consciousness. Mamma mia, yummy, beautiful, connecting, magical. We're just blown away by all these readings. The alignment, the symbology, the patterning, the information. We're going to close you down now, Ophiuchus. Thank you, camera, so much, Ophiuchus, for allowing us to experience the quantum realms through your lenses of perception. That was just a unifying experience for us, just bringing us into such presence with such gratitude. So namaste. Thank you. Now it's time to close the valve on the fire so that we can turn the fire down at night, but leave it just smouldering overnight, so that all we have to do is just bung in some fresh bits of kindling, small bits in the morning, and then put a log on, and we don't have to start with the whole process of lighting the fire again, because we understand how to open and close our fire elemental consciousness valve. So fire elemental consciousness, thank you so much for allowing us to experience the quantum realms through your energetic lenses of perception and break it down into the parts and see the connections. We really felt your Liffruma, unconditional love, which isn't going to work too well on there. So we close down these energies consciously. We close the valve down. Right. We close the valve down consciously. We open them with Liffruma. We're going to close them down consciously, but not too tight. They're still going to be there and open, and we know how to open it and close it. And look at that. We've got 40, the All rune. So we're opening it with unconditional love, and we're closing you with the All rune. The fire elemental consciousness has got its patterning sorted. The patterning of the back of the card, inside out, upside down, back to front, all of it is functioning and woven together on its wholeness, optimum resonant frequency of alignment. And it's just beautiful and magical and incredible, because if we're going to choose to harness, if you're going to choose to harness these energies, if we're going to choose to harness these energies, if we're all going to choose to harness these energetic potentials, then the outcome is just magical. Not just magical for each of us as individuals, but magical for Mother Gaia, magical for the collective unconscious of humanity, because we can't change others, but we can change the unseen energetics that others are reacting to. And we change those unseen energetics that others are reacting to by going deep internally into ours and changing our own internal energetics through the central nervous system. By becoming our unique, authentic self, which others may perceive as weird, but stuff them. They're just jealous that they don't have the courage to shine their radiant Leo heart and magical fire fairy wings. And that's their journey. And we're strong enough not to take things personally. Weidheimer, 40, weirdness, the all rune. Mystical all rune, binding all tunes, singing all songs, righting all wrongs. Weidheimer, the dark, deep-rooted realm of the Norns, where they bind and weave all around us. The vibration underscoring everything weird is here. Weird is love. Endless, seamless, slow flowing. Possibilities rooted in nutritious love, supporting all, both seen and unseen. Unpick the threads where you cannot sense the loving stitches. What weird magic will you weave now? So we're just going to put Liffruma's, the opening valve cards over here. Macrocosm, microcosm, connectors, and the bonus. So what's the macrocosm for the valve closer? Oh, look at this. This is actually the Three of Swords came up in the micro. We can't remember which one it was. I think it was Leo. Nope. Must have been Sagittarius. No, I'm sure Sagittarius started off magically. Well, it must have been. Yeah, it must have been. So Sagittarius. Okay, so it's the in-between. It wasn't the microcosm. It was the in-between. So Sagittarius is in between had this bridge. And we're closing it off. We're finalising it. The child wounds. You've navigated through the child wounds. Your Chiron wounded healer is now becoming the spiritual goddess, the spiritual god, the spiritual healer. You've managed to do it for yourself, and now you can share and do it, help facilitate others to navigate through their pain and their darkness on the surface levels. Because the wilting, the dying down, you understand through your new lenses of perception the death birth cycle. You understand how the trees leaves fall and die and then decompose to create the nutrients in the soil to create new life again, and to appreciate beauty while it's there and while it's alive. And the fives came up earlier as well. In Leo's reading, yeah, Leo had the fives. and you've got the 3 and the 5 here. 5 and 8 could be a 5 and a 3 if, like we talked about right at the start with the printing, and the printer ink is running out and you just got 3 printed instead of 8. Because you can do whatever you like to do, however you like to do, whatever serves your best interests, even if it doesn't match or align with anyone else's others perceived systems or rules, because this is what we want. We want weirdness, we want true authenticity. And the bridge that joins the macrocosm and the microcosm, sealing off and closing the early childhood wounds so that the inner child isn't distorted by pain and trauma frequencies anymore and can perceive in new ways, is the 3 of Pentacles and the 4 of Cups. So we've got another 3, we've got a 3, 3, and then we've got a 4 and a 5. So you've got your balanced, grounded foundations of the mountain. You've been up it, you've been down it. You can go up and down, around or through, inside out, turn it upside down. Rats are highly intelligent, and rats know how to scavenge. So the rat energy is helping clear up and helping decompose the last bits of the trauma frequencies, which, so there might still be some chaos, and there might still be some pain, physical or emotional or chemical, but that's okay, because the rat's got his intelligence and his scavenging skills, and he's going to help clear up the rest of this microcosmic toxins to bridge it over to the 3 of Pentacles, building, steadfast building, to fully, finally close off the 3 of Swords. Because your vertebra, your backbone is aligned, and the Kundalini energies now can rise and move up and down and round, and isn't going to cause chaos and disruption. There's no need to fear Kundalini rising energies. There is a need to respect and to understand from an intuitive, heart-knowing perspective, which comes from getting to know yourself, getting to know your body, getting to understand and be and use your breath